Alright, I'm going to do another part of this. There were some things I left out in the first video. I skipped to have some things sitting here that I really didn't cover. I talked about the getting into solar panels, things like that I've done this on a small scale. What I'm doing are the solar lights. I bought two originally that were small. They were just kind of ground lights, and I found these, which actually were near them, you know, when I gone back at a later time, or they popped up. I don't remember which, but anyway, these are little spotlights, and with a solar panel on top, I have about half a dozen of these, and they have a switch on. The first ones didn't have a switch. I thought, I don't think I like that. I want to have the ability to turn them off, you know. You can open them up, of course, and you know, if you had to pull the batteries or whatever, but you know, it's just that's a hassle. These have a switch, and one of my concerns was, what if you left the switch on? But they have a sensor, so that when it's bright, the light won't come on. So I found that interesting, and it's not real bright here now. Let's see. I don't know if I can duplicate that. Yeah, it goes off there. I don't know if you can see that. But then when I cover that sensor, the light will go back on. So I was real pleased with that. So I bought these a little bit over time. I didn't buy them all at once. And they have a stake that it just pops out, flips around, stick it in the ground, turn it where you want, swivel it this way, you know, point it up or down. But nice little lights, and they're going to replace some of the tiki torches. You've seen the tiki torches and some of the other videos that I just did pictures originally, and I'm still going to use those. I like them. I'm not going to use as many, because if you're using a lot, then you're spending a good bit of money on fuel. One of the things with the small propane tanks is these bases are really good. You set that in there, and I was using some cheaper gas lights in the past, and I wasn't real happy with them, and the glass broke easily on them, things like that. They didn't have a carry case, and these are the Colemans. You know, nobody's paying me to advertise these. It's just what I use, and these have been real handy. I have to sometimes pop these open with a knife or something, and I just use the screwdriver bit on there, and get in that and just pull one side up to release that. They do hold pretty good. I put that little wire in there where the two parts come together. There's holes in it. I just put that through, because when you're traveling, it bounces around. It is possible it could open, so I keep those secured. I have two of these lights, and these cases they come in are real handy. They just pop out of there like that, you know, and you would screw that, you know, just onto that tank, and it has a self-igniter right here. You turn your gas on, hit that once or twice, or, you know, whatever it takes to get that lit. You'll see it light, and then slowly it'll just start to get brighter. One of the other things that I do is I'll hang these, and I'll run a hose from the distribution post on the propane tank, and that'll fasten right in here also. Same thing with the heater. I do have a small heater that I haven't shown you. That's been shown in some of the other videos, and where I do this setup, where I have the, you know, big propane tanks and the distribution post set up, stuff like that on it. But those little heaters are real handy, and they have a nice safety feature, because if you happen to knock that over, it turns itself off. And so those are real good. I like those in the tent. Ventilation always. Back in my backpacking tent that I use in the wintertime, I put that half throttle. It's an 8,000 BTU heater. I put it on about 4,000 BTUs, and at 20 degrees, it keeps it about 75 degrees in there. So if you have a bigger tent, you can put that up all the way. Now I was using probably 30 pounds of propane over a week's time to heat the tent, to cook, and run gas lights. So it's not that big of an expense. And even for somebody that lived out there, they got some some stuff fell that way. They got some little bugs that had been dead in there for quite a while. It looks like. I thought I'd wiped this table off before, but that's what it was. It was from the lantern. So those heaters are real handy. Another thing I ran across are these little fluorescent lamps. They take, I think it's 4 D-size batteries or something like that. Don't quote me, I don't quite remember. And you just turn that on there, and those are real handy. You know, you wouldn't run them a long time because the batteries get a little costly in them, unless you wanted to just go out, you know, and buy rechargeables, keep using them. That's an option also. But I have 3 of those lights. And those are real handy in the tent. I don't know if these batteries are good in this one. Those look like those have ran out. I have more somewhere. One of the things about these tea lights that I hadn't mentioned in the previous video is I got some that are scented. You can get those too if, because I think running those you'll get a little bit of that like wax smell in the air. And sometimes it's, you know, nice just to have a little scented candle. Sometimes I'll buy the glass ones too and put in here just to, you know, make the apartment smell a little better. But those are scented tea lights. Those are kind of nice. Those are a little more costly, so you're not going to use them primarily, of course. And some of this stuff I know that I showed before after watching the video. It was kind of hard to see, and some of the smaller things I'd have to get, you know, get in a situation where, you know, I had the camera just right down there where you just saw my hands doing things, and maybe I'll set something like that up. One of the things that I wanted to show a little bit more was this knife sharpener, and some of you are probably already familiar with them. It's very easy to use. It works, you know, it's a little different than using the whetstone. I like to use a whetstone just because that's what I'm used to, and I can get a real nice edge, especially for my Bowie knife, you know, my other hunting knife and fishing knife, stuff like that. For you know, just my pocket knife, I'll just use this, and that basically, it has one side for coarse, the other side for fine. You just basically put your knife in there, pull that a few times, 10, 12 times, whatever it takes, depending how much your knife needs to be sharpened on the coarse side, and just to clean it up and make it a little sharper, a few times on the smooth side. And that's as easy as it is, because with the sharpening stone, of course, you want to have a little oil to put on there. Honing oil is best. You can use WD-40 if that's what you have. Some people will spit on them and do it. You know, just get the stone wet. That's the idea. The oil helps. It aids in sharpening too. So oil is a really good thing to have. And you know, I talked about these clips before, and the name on the package is actually something different. They call them carabiners, if I'm saying that right. Like you mentioned before, I just call them clips. But that's all they are, and you just squeeze it right there and you can put things on it. These containers here, in fact, I'm going to put one right on that, these waterproof containers. You know, I showed them before for putting your things in. And if you're in your boat, you flip over, they'll float, you know. You can fasten them to the boat so they'll be there. You just flip your boat back over and everything's fine and dry in there, you know. Wallet, keys, cell phone, whatever you need to keep dry in there. And so that's the lights. Most all my lights, I'm gonna mention, are able to be hung up. That's one of the things I look for too. whether they're this type of light, the oil lanterns, or the propane lamps. I got 2 of these, and usually that's all you need is 2 of them. And the oil lanterns, all this is good too in case of power failure. It's one of the reasons I have them here. One of the things, other things that I did want to mention too is I did buy a new cot. I didn't show that in the last video. I wanted to get through it kind of quick, and I don't know how it's going to show up here. Probably saw me move it out of the way. I'm just going to kind of pull it over here a little bit. And this just has a strip of Velcro that comes off here and releases that. And then this will open up. I'm not going to do it all the way. And these lights just pull out. There's 3 of them. And you can see here, you know, on the bottom of a 10th floor, it's not going to really damage your 10th floor like the ones that just come down here and end. That's one of the things I liked about this. My other cot I had put in the garbage. It had these springs that attached to the side and came in and attached to this part. And it started getting ripped. The springs would fall off. I'd have to put them back on. It was a pain. And I saw these. Some of those I saw were 70, 80 bucks. And these were at Walmart, Ozark Trail, for about 36, 37 bucks. Where I am. I don't know if they'll be that much where you are, but that's where they are where I am. And I had opened this up and laid on it. It's just as comfortable as the other cot I had that had the mattress on it. Because that, you'll lay on that, it's almost like a mattress. So I was real happy about getting that, and that's handy, especially in the wintertime. I do have air mattresses, and those are nice sometimes. With the air mattress, the ones I have, they're not self-inflating, so I have battery-powered pump that you just put on there, pump those up, and when you deflate them, you can reverse that too. If you have one that has opening in the other end that you can pull the air out, that helps speed things up too. The cot is fast for me. I like the cot, and I use that most of the time. One of the things I thought about this cot, if you wanted, especially if you're staying for long periods of time camping, you can take 2 of those cots, put a piece of plywood on it, and put an air mattress on that. You could probably just put the air mattress on there, but if you got sharp edges on that cot, you got a chance of deflating the air mattress. And all you would need on there is a piece of Lawan, you know, just a thin piece of plywood is all you need just to protect the air mattress. And that's one way to sleep on an air mattress, you know, in the winter without having that cold transfer up through. And that's one of the reasons I quit using the air mattresses is because of the cold transferring through. I camp mostly 3 seasons when I go, and most people would think, where do you go, spring, summer, and fall? No, I go fall, winter, and spring. No summer. Summer's too hot, you know. You can actually buy portable air conditioners that you run a hose inside the tent, you can cool the tent off, but I don't know how effective they're going to be, and you're going to need a lot of electricity to run them, so I don't bother. And I'd rather go when it's a little cool out, even if I got to heat the tent. You know, I've been out there when it's 20 degrees or below. I'm comfortable in the tent, 75 degrees inside the tent, and it doesn't take a lot of heat if you set it up right. I put a tarp over the tent. You'll see in some of my earlier videos the winter backpack. It's actually not a winter tent. I call it a winter tent because it's one I use for winter. It's an Ozark Trail tent. I do use a lot of the Ozark Trail stuff. All my tents that I have now, 3 of them are Ozark Trail. There's a simple reason: they're affordable and they've been holding up well. There's certain things that they make I won't use. They haven't developed them far enough, and possibly somewhere along the line they will. So I'll go to something that costs a little more, like the Coleman, and that's one reason I use their lanterns. They just give me what I want for the lanterns, a carry case and everything like that. I'm trying to remember these bases that I got, if they came with a certain brand or what, but these may have come, don't quote me, these may have come with the Ozark Trail ones, quite possibly. possible, but I don't, I'm not seeing a name on here. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with lights and stuff just to make your camping trip a little bit better. The some people carry a bug out bag. I wanted to mention that too. That was the other thing. And this fanny pack that I have, this has been my bug out bag for a long time. I mean, I've been doing this stuff, I mean, before we ever had YouTube and anything like that. And this I bought mostly for hunting in the Adirondacks, because when you get out there in that forest and those mountains, you're out there for a while. A lot of times all day there was, once in a while I may have come back to the tent, we had a big outfitter tent out there and stuff like that. A few guys went up there. And I bought this, I'm trying to think, it had to be 20 years ago or more, something like that. And it's been one of the handiest, bags that I've had. And, you tie this around your waist and clip it yourself like a belt right there. That's why they call it a fanny pack. Some of you are probably familiar with that, but this has been, before anybody came up with the term bug out bag, this has been what I've had with that. This, these lights, a lot of this stuff, some of this stuff I had to buy new. These Coleman lanterns are fairly new for my own camping. The oil lanterns rather than oil lamps. Oil lanterns are just, you can put them in a box. And what I may do, I haven't used these camping yet. These are easier camping because they're in a case, they're all protected. But with these, I'm going to get a box and maybe just get some cardboard to put between them to separate them and protect the glass on there. And these are nice because these, you can hang these outside. I don't know how they're going to perform on a windy day. I haven't, explored that yet, but they are kind of closed in there, but they have openings up here, of course. So I think on a windy day, there's a chance they could get blown out. That's where the propane lanterns are a benefit, or even these, battery operated fluorescent lights, and those are real handy. But that's about the other stuff that I wanted to mention, that I hadn't covered before. And what I may do is maybe do some more close-up videos, just get the camera right down here and just show some more things in detail. But that's something I'm going to do once I'm out in the woods. It's going to be, a more worthwhile video, and just do some more things closer. And I'm going to show some of the other equipment I have, what I use a hatchet for, different things like that. There's just, so many things that you can do out there that I can't show right here, of course. And I'm hoping to bring that, once I can get out there again, whenever that is, if I do get a chance. One of the things is, the tires in my truck are just terrible. They're not bad tires. They just got no traction. They're like touring tires. And that's what came on the truck, so that's one of the things that has prevented me from really getting out, especially with our winter conditions. And maybe I'll just, tack on a little video sometime about the, storms here and stuff. I could barely get up the hills coming home from work with these tires. There were days, for a trip that would take me half an hour to get home from work was taking me an hour and a half. And so I got to gather some money together and put new tires on that truck. This one is not four-wheel drive, so I can't drive this back down in through the trees like I did the other one. But I'm going to get it close enough, and then just have to drag everything in or whatever I do. And so lots changing, but I'm still going to be doing camping videos, and you know, there's just going to be some different things going on, some new things, some more survival stuff. I'm going to show that once I get out in the woods. I may even possibly, because Camper Hollow is quite a distance from here, I'm going to try to find, there's state land not far from here, and I'm going to talk to the park rangers and see, you know, what I can do out there. They allow, I don't think they allow overnight camping out there. I'm going to see, I know hunters go out there, there's places you can shoot your rifle, things like that, they have stuff set up. So I'm going to see what I can do, what I can go out there, do even for a day trip. If there are spots I can camp overnight, great, I'm going to do that. I'm going to find me a new spot for Camper Hollow. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm going to find something a little closer. It'll be easier for me to get there, and you know, shoot some more videos and do some more of this stuff, even if it's a one-night trip. So that's some of the stuff that I'm looking into, and thanks for watching.